So the rain has finally stopped, the sun has come out, there are crazy giant mushrooms growing, the birds are acting weird. It seems like an auspicious time to do a sketchbook tour. Let's see what I've been doing for the past nearly 12 months. Here she is. I don't ever really have much to say about the opening and closing spreads. It's usually just scraps that I've collected from around the place. We've got some Stephen King quotes, some other little bits and pieces that I thought felt profound at the time. And of course, horses. This is always the time where I should issue the disclaimer that there's going to be a lot of horses. If you're not into that, get out of here. If you are, welcome, join us. Okay, I think this is one of the first things that I drew in the book. So, we're closer to more than 18 months ago. Every year I do a New Year's celebratory drawing, so that's what this one sort of had to do. The vibe was a little bit summery, tropical, watching my neighbour's horse swim in the dam and eat the water lilies. And that was the start of 2024, not 2025, which the start of this year felt a little bit different. I feel like I had a lot of momentum in 2024 that I don't have now. But that momentum fell away, so, you know, sometimes it's a false lead. This is Thunderbolts Rock from some of my travels out west of the ranges. Since my childhood, it's been kind of just a place that stood out to me, I suppose. Lots of people stop there and graffiti the rock, because that's what people do. We stop there and there's like lots of lizards, so my son had a good time with that. This was a redraw of an old page. It was fun to do that, actually. I haven't done much of that, revisiting pages and redrawing, but that one was really fun to do, and it really kind of pointed out to me that my skills are changing and growing. Sometimes you feel like you're kind of plateauing a lot, but you might just not actually be realizing because you're with the changes. So it's good to do an exercise like that and discover exactly how different your work styles become. So I was happy with that for that project. We've got some goshawks and raspberries and fireweed. This is very seasonal. These birds and these plants turn up at a certain time of year. This is a little landscape sketch of the paddocks near the raspberry plants. I spent a lot of time at the raspberry plants during 2024. We had a really great crop and my daughter just really liked fooling around out there, so it sort of became a babysitter in a way. What a strange thing to choose for your babysitter. These are just some little playful, happy drawings. Love drawing me some kelpies, hearts and skulls, of course, why not? Yeah, I don't feel too much about this one. It's just play, it's just practice, it's just exploring some ideas. I feel like I've underrated this one in my mind. There's a couple of little pieces on here that are kind of bangers, but in the scheme of it all, this page sucks. I think if like taken in isolation, a few of these pieces are like cool, but seen all together, not so much. This is a drawing of a photo I picked up somewhere on the internet. There is a reference to the photographer there. I'll try and write that up so you can see exactly who I'm referencing there. So this is just another fun full page. I was trying to explore a little bit of different color palettes with this one, I think, and really got stuck. You'll see throughout this book that, yeah, I really got stuck on this blue and kind of rusty red, olive green. I feel like it's a good palette and different from what I often do. One of the parts of this sketchbook that I really like and want to keep exploring a little bit more is these kind of interactive little bits. This is just cheap tracing paper, which I had a little chat with someone in the comments of Instagram about it, and they said there is a kind that you can paint on that's got a bit more resiliency. This stuff, if it gets wet or like even glue on it, will crinkle, so it's not the best, but it is just cheap stuff. And it works for this little little installation. So these are a few little detailed scribblings. I'm particularly happy with this one here. I love the way he came out, these little hollyhocks. These are really old drawings. I think maybe possibly even before that first one that I mentioned. Don't really know what was going on there, but I guess I feel like it wasn't that successful. Just is what it is. I love the bottom half of this. Just went a bit heavy on the lips on that one. That looks kind of silly. But yeah, I love the bottom half of that one. This one I feel like was a really successful piece, and this one, they came up later. I adapted them for little drawings that I took on the road. Maybe the one out to Narrabri, I think those little guys came with me. And again, it's that same palette of a little bit of a rusty red, light blue, sky blue, olive green. This one's also pretty old. I think I've posted a video of the process of drawing these ones. I was so stoked with this when I did it, and then as I worked through this sketchbook, it just became so like out of place and inconsistent. It's so weird now to see where it fits in the evolution of this whole sketchbook, this whole past year or 18 months. But there was a lot of effort put into that, so we can celebrate that. Some more swans. Yeah, my New Year's Day drawing with the swans was kind of prescient, I suppose. They're turning up all over the place. Also, my daughter had a little go at drawing on this page too, which I tried to mask a bit, but you know, it doesn't matter. She's allowed to join the sketchbook if she'd like. Yeah, I was probably supposed to write something in these two spots, but maybe you can use your imagination. More little bits of vellum. I do love me a little bit of tough and tender. Butterflies and thorns, of course. These caterpillars were a kind of weird departure. I really had something in my mind about them, which then I immediately abandoned. So that's it. That's all there is about that. Just a few caterpillars. This is the start of a bit of a duck thing. Ducks are going to appear throughout a fair bit. Rabbits often do. I don't know, these might be the only rabbits that appear in here. And worms. My son spends a lot of time digging for worms to go fishing with, so I guess that's why they were on my mind. I'm still undecided about this one, whether I think it's successful or not. It's just sort of a little bit different to what I'd usually do, so it feels a bit different, but I think it came out pretty cool. I love this one. I love that little portrait. She's kind of got a bit of a 50s vibe. I was never happy with this. I nearly went over it, I think. Glued something over it again. It's already something glued over, but I mean, yeah. You got to try stuff to find out whether or not it's going to work. This is another cute little page in that same palette. Sometimes I think maybe I'm just sitting down to draw just to be in the practice of it, so I'm not really coming up with any new concepts, not reinventing the wheel here, or maybe I am reinventing the wheel. I don't know. I'm going back to the same things. That's what I'm trying to say. This one there was a direct reason for this. We had a lot of thistles growing. There was kind of more of this tough and tender stuff. We got bows on the barbed wire. That was meant to go into a video with some of the reference for it, but it didn't really jump out at me, so I think I just abandoned it. I've not really thought much about that. It's another little landscape horse filler. Takes far too long to do for, I think, maybe not quite the impact that I wanted. These were some of the cowgirls of NFR in Las Vegas. I think this is 2023 or 24 that this was, I can't remember. They are specific real life women in their outfits. I have a list of their names somewhere. I should put them up so you can go check them out if you're into that kind of stuff. It's pretty amazing. These were some mushrooms that I did on the live stream. I don't know if you guys caught that one, but it was one of the only ones I've ever done. I had planned to do one every month for a year, did one, and then completely ran out of time. Fish sketches, love me some fish sketches, and some face sketches. They could probably do with some colour, I don't know. These were, as someone correctly picked up on Instagram, washi tape ideas. None of them have been brought to production, but maybe they will be. I'm pretty stoked with how they all came out. I'd probably be pretty happy to use any of them, so we'll see. I just hate producing stuff, it's so hard. Things go wrong, it's stressful. I avidly avoid stress in my life where I can, so I don't do that much. Just a little pony in the landscape. More of the same colour palette and more of the same concept with the horseshoes. And just strawberry themed, I guess. Oh, these butterflies went terribly wrong. I would remove them if I could. I just filled up some space there. Something a little bit different, and again, that's something that doesn't really feel successful to me. So it's like an idea that I've tried or a technique that I've tried and then gone, not really for me, and left it by the wayside. I don't know, sometimes you come back to these things and are like, oh yeah, maybe I should kind of pursue that a little bit. Other times, yeah, you're just trying something out and it's not for you. It's the whole point of a sketchbook, I suppose. More of the same, but a slightly different red, and I think I'm not happy with that red. These drawings appeared in my Tamworth road trip video. We went out and watched a little bit of bronc riding, Charlie Crockett gig, stayed in this little church in Limbury, which is way out in the middle of nowhere. It was really cool, it was beautiful. That was a fun weekend. It was so hot, it was 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it was hot. More of the same little ideas, but different pen, a little more tough and tender stuff. We got flowers in the barbed wire this time. Some drawings from Ebor, which is up the mountains from where I live, and we got there to go trout fishing. A beautiful little creek at the trout hatchery, and daffodils and stuff grow up there, which don't grow down here on the coast so well, so it's really beautiful going up there sometimes. More little interactives. Just drawing a brave blue healer. Little bits and pieces stuck in. This was I think this page I was trying to draw without doing any pencil guidelines, which I never do. I always do pencil guidelines and then ink over the top or go over the top of whatever I'm doing. So I didn't enjoy it, for one. I'm not really happy with how it came out, and this butterfly just went crazy because obviously I started over here and ended not where I was supposed to. I've never been happy with this one. I kind of wanted her to look like a clown, but also no, I don't know. It doesn't make me happy, that one, for some reason. These are some drawings that I think turned up in my Narrabri video that I posted recently. Anyway, some of the sites and landscapes around Caputa. I don't really know anything about landscape drawing, so it's something I'd like to explore a little bit more. Dog studies, little kelpie studies. I really love this one. I might have done this one without guidelines too, I can't remember. But way more happy with the palette of that one and with how things came together. I might have stuck more closely to things that I knew or had kind of already mapped out in my head. But yeah, that one came out way better than the other one. Little skull sketch. These ones were part of, I went out to watch some cutting horses in Tamworth. Different trip. I go out there a fair bit, or I did go out there a fair bit last year. I had about 3 trips out to Tamworth last year. Love me a little blue roan playing in the sand. Didn't bother drawing a rider because I just wasn't in the mood for trying to get that right. It is hard to draw cutting horse riders to make sure they're sitting in the right angle, I guess, because there's a lot of different angles going on when you're drawing cutting horses. If you've got the person sitting not right, it just looks silly. So I think I was just going for what I knew I could handle at that time, I think is a way to put it. Little stalking kelpie, some more cutting horses. This is what I mean about the angles of the riders. The way they sit is really expressive. I think I might have got lucky with that top one. Some more little experiments. I think this is about the time I'm starting to think about moving into painting and how I might make my work as an illustrator translate into painting. And this is part of that sort of thought process too, thinking about cow skulls, which are really kind of emblematic to me of where and how I grew up living in the country. There's a lot of, and I've been thinking about it especially today, there's a lot of like tough stuff that you encounter, or that if your dad's doing the farming that your dad encounters, that's what I've been thinking about today. Just the toughness of raising animals and living on the land. And then there's also a lot of traditional, I guess, like the embroidery, the frilliness, the CWA ladies, if you're Australian, you'll know what that reference means. There is a lot of softness and delicacy as well. I assume it's the same over in the States for you guys, that those two lives are existing inside and outside of the house, I guess. Anyway, I've been trying to sort of think a little bit deeply about what and why I draw the things I do, and that one for me, I think, is kind of nodding towards some of the things that occupy my mind. So these are some drawings from the trip that I took out to Tamworth to watch the cutting horses. I stayed at Gunniganu. That's what that says. It's very hard to pronounce if you're not from there, but I've got the hang of it now. Anyway, there were hares, which I'm always excited about hares because they're ridiculously strange animals. There were swallows, there were wildflowers, and of course there were ponies. I love these two. These, just the hatchet face, long legs, feathery feet. I think what I'm thinking about is bucking horses. They're often bred to be kind of clumpy with these feathery feet and big sort of rangy bodies. And to me, that's a really beautiful look. I mean, it's kind of raw boned and rough, but. So I have this thing about egrets at the moment. I've been, over the summer, I would be lying on my back floating down the creek and watching these beautiful white egrets sort of float through the blue sky. Often there would be a day moon out, and it was a really sort of poetic image to see. So I started to feel a little bit of something about egrets and herons, and I don't know if it's egrets or egrets. So tell me, how do I say that word? I'm going to say egret because I've been saying it. But yeah, I've started to feel like they were kind of an emblematic bird as well. And even just this morning before I came in here to record this, I was driving along the road and had to drive around a baby egret that was just standing in the main road in town. So I pulled over, I ran down the road and hunted off the road before it got hit by a car. And I just sort of feel like, you know, sometimes, I don't know if it's because you're looking for these things because you've made a note of it in your mind, but sometimes things just appear to you over and over again and they start to feel really meaningful. I'm sorry about his hair. I meant for him to kind of have a funny haircut because egrets do. They have these little strands that come down the back, but not that funny. He's looking rough. I did mean to redraw that one, but we'll leave it as evidence of my artistic struggles. This is a good little drawing that I'm happy with. Started me rolling down the path of finally being brave enough to start painting some skulls. And that's been something I've really been enjoying. I enjoy painting skulls. I don't really enjoy painting horses because they're so difficult to get right. With skulls, you can get away with a bit more. These are just some fun sort of dark drawings. Yeah, happy with everything on that page. This is one of those days where I've decided I'm going to put a lot of effort into something which probably doesn't require that much effort. A little landscape drawn from Jack Dykinga, it looks like, is the photographer, and just some accompanying little things. Again, trying out a bit of a different palette, slightly different. I love how this page came out, and I love how this page came out too. I believe I am quoting Nolene Hoffman there. She's a beautiful songwriter. I was really happy with this little page, happy with the colours, happy with everybody on it. Everybody's doing a good job there. Thank you. Some more little horse scribblings. Again, trying to think about painting a little bit here. I think it's hard. I find it so challenging to think of images as paintings and to try and figure out how they're going to work, because I feel like when I put things on canvas, they end up just being so different to how I imagined. When I draw, sometimes I can get close, but painting is a wild ride. I like that little cow print on that vase, that's cute. Just some little ladies trying out a little bit of a almost a rainbow palette, or like a, I don't know what the word for that is, like running a rainbow scale kind of, yellow, green, blue. That was intentional. Thought this was a pretty little furry horse and a moon. Hate this one, didn't come out at all how I wanted. Feels really muddy and dark. Go away. Also didn't like this page. Let's get out of here. I was really happy with this page though. Just love me a little moon and a sort of serious looking animal. I've got a lot of thoughts about drawing dogs and moons, so we'll probably see a lot more of that in the future. So this one's probably the most successful of the interactives in this sketchbook. Woo! The world is full of strange treasure. And more than ever. Yeah, happy with how that one came out and how it works. Little sketch of Prin there and a healer. These are from the plein air drawing video that I posted a while back with Ben and Prin, my horses. I think these ones were kind of just space fillers. I was drawing the way that is baseline easiest for me to draw, which is heavy lines, flat color. Sometimes it's nice to do stuff you know how to do. That's not challenging, but it's easy and fun. Egret. This was a little cutie, heavily influenced by all the scrapbooking that's going on with everyone doing all the cute stuff. Sturgeon moon, I guess. That's some specific time of year. Not now, a long time ago. I have a video of drawing these. I might put it together and share it, but it's just been like lingering around, so I've sort of lost interest in it. I really love this little drawing. I feel like it doesn't always resonate with people, but to me, I guess it feels connected to who I am and my work and maybe what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's just a cow. More cows. This one is part of the Draw and Explore that went to the Gorge. If you want to go back and check that out, it's a very beautiful place. This is what I mean about that vellum being kind of a cheap tracing paper style of stuff. It wrinkles. If it gets too much glue, wet, whatever, it's not, you can't paint on it or anything like that. So that's just drawing on there with Posca pen. But I really love this little series of drawings. I thought I did a really good job on that rooster. That guy's cute. That's my phone lock screen background. And this is cute, but it's really hard to see. There's little fish going around the moon. This is from the Narrabri video, the most recent Draw and Explore that I went on. There's crayfish out there. There were so many butterflies. This is just one of the views from Caputa National Park. Yeah, little bits and pieces. I really like this one too. I hope I remember to come back to this idea. We've got horse, cow bones, moon. Just lots of big feelings about being on the earth, I guess. More tough and tender. We got bones and bows. Egret. This is more stuff from the Gorge Draw and Explore. There are a lot of cows. Cows under a tree, cows by the creek. Weird fish. They've got the cute little, their toilet sign is like bass and bassettes in their public toilets, and the bass has got all makeup on, so that's what I was thinking about, carrying that. We got a little working dog and just some collections from around the desk. I was really happy with the movement of these flowers, the way they're sort of droopy and bubbly. Also happy with the palette of this and just the simplicity of the page. I really like how all those drawings sit together. I love this guy. He's kind of ugly, but I love it. I feel like that's accurate for a Hereford bull. More from the Gorge Draw and Explore. Catfish beaters. There were so many beaters. They're the most spectacular birds. So cool. So colourful and beautiful. Just trying to draw a landscape with non-natural colours. There's a word for that and I don't know what it is. Oh, here are my Halloween experiments. I do believe these are part of a video somewhere out there. This is just sticking more of that vellum stuff on to try and make ghosts. Didn't really work. I was really happy with how this series of drawings came out. I feel like some days, I don't know if you guys experience this as artists, but like some days you just go way outside of what your abilities feel like, what you're capable of. You just do stuff and you're like, oh wow, that was good. And then other days you're working away and you're like, it's good that I don't know how to draw anymore. I feel like this was a day where everything came together and worked, which is great because I don't have much time for things not working. More ghost studies. Oh gosh, in the video, the main video that I posted this in, I talk about the artist who does the really cool ghost photos, really similar to this sort of stuff. When I post this video, I'll look up who she is and put her link on because I feel like I can't share this without referencing her because this is really similar to what she does, but she does it way better. Putting little ghosts onto vintage pictures, it's really cute. I love her work. So I want to make sure that that's acknowledged, that that is very similar to what she does. All right, we're at the end. This is just some little last gasps of the sketchbook, I suppose. Bits and pieces. Nothing too exciting. Just closing the book. I've been thinking about this morning. It's a long story, and hopefully I will get into it in my artwork. It links back to what I was talking about with that cow skull and kind of some of the tough stuff that people encounter in farming, but also just as humans in general, you know. We're all just doing what we can, whatever that may be. And look, we could probably end it there. If you've made it this far, thanks for hanging around. Thanks for taking an interest in what I do.